And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is gonna feel something from him. And it ain't gonna be easy to hit him. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
The man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots.
Tank's gonna kill him. Tank's gonna kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
okay. It's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's gonna kill him because he will not get hit.
The boxing world is in disbelief as Gervonta Tank Davis shows up in peak physical form ahead of his showdown with Jake Paul. Recent training clips capture him unleashing thunderous blows on the heavy bag, his power and precision blending in perfect rhythm. Every strike reflects his ruthless focus and hunger to dominate. Observers can't help but note how laser-sharp and disciplined he looks, proving that this camp is all business. Experts say his confidence and conditioning have reached a frightening level, setting the stage for an explosive performance when fight night arrives. Analysts insist that Gervonta Davis's best path to victory lies in his intelligence inside the ring. They stress that Tank must rely on sharp movement, calculated control, and perfect timing rather than chasing an early knockout. His genius comes from patience and the ability to dissect an opponent's rhythm before striking. Many believe that if he sticks to a slick hit-and-move strategy, Jake Paul won't withstand the speed and precision coming his way. While Davis is famed for his knockout power, it's his defense and counterpunching that truly separate him. Experts agree that when Tank fights smart, Jake's level of experience won't come close to matching his lethal mix of technique, explosiveness, and ring IQ.
His speed and, his ability make up for that size difference, in your honest opinion?
Well, he has to be very smart throughout the course of the fight. It's hard to know in some things. I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab. Jake's fighting one of the best boxers ever.
Experts warn that Jake Paul is about to face the toughest reality check of his boxing career once he steps in with Gervonta Davis. They claim Tank's speed, ring intelligence, and experience are light years beyond anything Jake has encountered. While Jake's past opponents had strength, none possessed Tank's uncanny timing or ability to punish every mistake. Analysts predict the power gap will become painfully clear the moment Davis lands clean. Jake's defense, though improving, remains raw compared to Tank's calculated precision. For most experts, a knockout seems almost guaranteed. They believe that once Tank connects, Jake's stamina and guard will crumble, leading to a sudden, devastating finish.
Tank Davis look crazy, bro. Chilaquiles. Gervonta Tank Davis hitting a heavy bag in preparation for his Jake Paul fight November 14th down there in Florida. Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots. You mean to tell me somebody who done fought UFC fighters and a man with Parkinson's disease can take a body punch from Gervonta Tank Davis, and y'all basing y'all logic just because Jake Paul is big? No, Tank's gonna go ahead and put this man to sleep. I'm telling y'all that right now. If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice. You Tank fans, y'all trying to give him a pass. If y'all said Tank is as skilled as y'all say he is, if he does not put Jake Paul to sleep and stop Jake Paul, his boxing career is absolutely voided. He already don't care about legacy, and just imagine he don't knock out Jake Paul, and now y'all gonna say it's not a real fight, it's an exhibition. No, we not giving no passes, bro. This Gervonta Tank Davis, he needs to put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, Jake Paul too big. No, Jake Paul chin ain't never been tested by somebody that hit as hard as Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank should put this man to sleep with ease. I'll say that respectfully. If you don't put him to sleep,
a 2-pack of ass. That shit stinks.
That's a 2-pack of ass at the highest level. And it's a musty energy at the highest level. Get it together. Get it together. Tank looks amazing. That's the Chilla Killers.
Chilla Killers. Chilla Killers.
The debate over weight has become one of the hottest topics surrounding this fight. Some argue that Jake Paul's size advantage is simply too big to dismiss, while others claim Davis's technical mastery will erase that difference. Fans are split. Many question whether the fight should even happen given Jake's larger frame. Yet Tank's supporters remind everyone that boxing isn't about bulk, it's about mastery, speed, discipline, and timing. They believe Tank's superior skill set allows him to dismantle bigger men with precision. To them, Jake's fundamentals remain too raw to threaten a technician like Davis, whose sharp angles and ring control can easily neutralize any size edge. Jake holds.
It is happening. WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child, Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pounds, the cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight.
And despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seem set to wear 12-ounce gloves.
And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be officially recorded on their professional records.
Michael Bisping praises Gervonta, Davis's extraordinary talent and fight IQ, but warns that physical size can't be completely ignored. He respects Tank's ability to adapt against larger foes, yet admits the weight difference could test his durability and stamina over the course of the fight. Still, Bisping believes Davis's strategy and sharpness will allow him to outthink and outmaneuver Jake Paul. He notes that if anyone can defy the odds against a naturally heavier opponent, it's Tank. Despite acknowledging the size factor, he concludes that Davis's technical brilliance might still carry him to victory, provided he executes his game plan flawlessly.
Taking on Mike Tyson, that's pushing 60 years old, for crying out loud, but at the same time pretending to be like this badass motherfucker, sending me DMs talking. He offered me a contract a long time ago, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm a retired fighter and I've got one eye. Why would I want to fight you? I wouldn't lower myself to doing that. I know a lot of people do that. They do lower themselves, if you want to say that, because of the payday, because Jake Paul is a big name. He is a social media sensation. He's a YouTube star. And now, of course, in the world of boxing, he's one of boxing's biggest stars because he puts on these spectacles like Paul versus Tyson, like Nate Diaz, because these are the fighters, these are the names that attract the eyes. Jake Paul is the B-side to almost every single one of his fights. When he fought Nate Diaz, people were tuning in for Nate Diaz. His last fight against Cesar Chavez Jr., apparently no one watched that fight. Apparently the pay-per-views were ridiculously low. So this one's going back to Netflix on November 14th, and it's an exhibition bout. Of course, it's an exhibition bout because no athletic commission in their right mind will sanction this fight. There's just no way you can make this a legitimate fight because of the size advantage. Typically, this will be very, very dangerous, and someone could get really hurt. If Jake Paul was to swing as hard as he could and connect and wobble him and hit him many times and not knock him out, with the bigger gloves and the concussion possibilities and the brain rattling around inside the head, and Jake Paul just teeing off at him as hard as he could, it's dangerous. That's why fights like this can't get sanctioned. That's why this is a exhibition bout and not a real matchup. Now listen, they're both going to get paid tremendously. They're going to make a ton of money, and a lot of people are going to tune in and watch it on Netflix. Fair play.
Several analysts are calling out the unfair criticism of Gervonta Davis's career achievements. They argue that many fighters who've shared the ring with him gained fame and recognition afterward, proving his star power's real impact. Names like Lamont, once overlooked, rose in profile after facing Tank, a testament to Davis's influence on the sport. Experts reject claims that he isn't a face of modern boxing, saying his fights elevate others and keep fans emotionally invested. They insist that dismissing his legacy ignores how much he's done to raise boxing's profile and how many careers he's helped launch simply by stepping into the ring.
Ongoing discussion in the boxing world about Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis, his resume, who he's going to fight, the competitors that he's going to fight. And every once in a while, something happens that proves that Gervonta Davis is the face of that. If he's not the face of boxing because people just don't want him to be that, man, he is real close to it, because other than Canelo Alvarez, and even consider Canelo Alvarez included, nobody in boxing has divisions circulating around him like Gervonta Davis does. And that was proved during this Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz announcement for their pay-per-view. Just think about this. Gervonta Davis, they always say that Gervonta Davis has a poor resume, but yet Gervonta Davis, guys that fight Gervonta Davis, lose to Gervonta Davis, or get a draw to Gervonta Davis, can fight one another and make an anticipated pay-per-view between the two of them. Because that fight with Pitbull Cruz is a very, very popular fighter with Mexican fight fans. Lamont Roach got a lot of name exposure with black fight fans and Mexican fight fans and white fight fans, all with his draw that he got against Gervonta Davis. Now they believe that this is going to be able to be a profitable endeavor for a pay-per-view. Now let me also tell you that Rolly Romero, who was somebody else that Gervonta Davis fought in the past, will be on a pay-per-view that's going to be successful, most likely, when he defends his WBC 140-pound championship. Or does he have the WBA?